brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking host, the good old boys. And now it's sippin' time.
Oh my goodness, it is sipping time. I can't believe it. We're actually doing the show. Hey, this is good old boy Mike.
Wow.
Welcome to Sips, Suds, and Smokes. This is a Sips episode where everything good in life is worth discussing. Oh my goodness, we have so much to discuss today. I have no idea how we're going to get through all this. It'll be amazing. We are the best thing on at 2 a.m., and this is a 1-hour show that is mildly entertaining for 22 and a half minutes today. I think that's a good choice.
Oh, you're reaching. Yeah,
I know. It's a soft
we're up
target.
from last time.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, 17 minutes last time.
Well,
we're getting better.
Somebody's timing
Jason's
today.
good for 30 seconds.
I know the worm is going to turn at some point. I have a great table of hosts today. Let me go through and introduce everybody. This is good old boy Mike. Joining me here at the table is good old boy Jason.
Good to be here. We
have good old boy John.
Glad to have you.
Good old gal Cary Ann.
Hey.
She is working on that. We also have good old boy Brent.
It's a pleasure to be here today.
We have Made Man Bob joining us.
Always a pleasure to be here.
And good old boy Harmeet joining us.
Holla. I mean, hold on. Actually, by the way, Bob is a made man, but you know what? Brent, too, is a made man.
Is he a made man as well? I didn't get that memo. All right.
Brent is the guy who inducted Bob.
Oh, well, so there you go. I didn't know that. I didn't get the invitation either.
Brent.
You're not supposed to talk about that.
Oh, the first rule of Bourbon Mafia is not talk about Bourbon Mafia, right?
Yeah.
Well, Brent and Bob
not be joining us ever again.
Well, made man Brent.
I just want to tell my wife I love her.
Yeah, in advance. I like that. It's pre-negotiated. Well, that will bring you up to keeping 10% of your stuff, Harmeet. So good luck with that, buddy. All right. Well, Made Man Brent and Made Man Bob are joining us from the Bourbon Mafia. Why don't you take a minute and tell us a little bit more about the Bourbon Mafia, guys?
Well, the Bourbon Mafia is a collection of individuals, high-end collectors and enthusiasts and industry professionals in the bourbon industry. And we do a lot of charity work through rare bottle auctions. Great group of people.
Cary Ann hosts a blog called Straight Up 615 and is a guest with several other publications. Cary Ann, why don't you take a little moment, tell us a little bit about your blog or any of the other activities you have going on.
Well, 615, Straight Up 615 is my blog. I talk mostly about Tennessee whiskey and what's going on in the Tennessee spirits world. Travel around. I work with the Tennessee Distillers Guild really closely, so just keeping up with what's going on with everybody, and we're getting ready to launch a pretty big project called the Tennessee Whiskey Trail.
Wow, how about that? That sounds like a lot of fun, so I look forward to that. Well, we're actually recording in a very cool venue, and we are recording in the Whiskey House, which is a private social club in Nashville, Tennessee, and the proprietor of that is good old boy John, who's joining us. John, why don't you take a minute and tell anybody about the Whiskey House here?
As a collector and a noob, my goal a couple of years ago was to have a tasting room that was at my personal house, and it outgrew my house, and my wife determined that. And I want to have one bottle open of everything that I can find.
Yeah. So we literally are sitting in a room.
That's the good kind of collector. There are these people who sit on stuff forever, but there's people who really enjoy things. Thank you. Thank you for opening the bottle.
There are literally 400 open whiskey bottles in the room that we're sitting in right now. So who's excited?
Wait a minute.
Wait, I don't know if it's 400 anymore. It might be 397 now.
Okay. I need to know this right now.
Yeah, Bob's got 400. He's a new house to put all these in.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Is that normal?
Proceed.
I didn't want to be normal.
Yeah, that's normal. Yeah, perfect.
Well, also in the room joining us is good old boy Dan. He is the brand ambassador for Four Roses. We won't let him speak as we don't want to let ugly people on our radio
he's
show.
An insider.
So
he has a face for radio.
He cannot come and pimp his stuff on.
Yeah, you like that one, don't you?
On the show. Well, he actually did. He actually did bring some righteous juice, so we might let him speak as we continue drinking at some point
He's
in time.
Howard
So we'll
Stern
see.
of Bourbon Radio.
Well, I wanted. This show is sponsored by The Bourbon Review, a quarterly magazine online source for all things bourbon. You can reach them at www.thebourbonreview.com. I really love the article on Girl Scout cookies and bourbon pairing. So pick up an article or pick up a episode, not an episode, a magazine, an issue. Thank you,
and a Girl Scout cookie.
Thank you very much. I have some more.
Buy a box of Girl Scout cookies and pick up an issue.
More bourbon, table 6. All right. Well, this
let me
point out the Bourbon
I'm
Review
sorry,
is
Mike. I have to
also,
interrupt here
partially
because
managed by another Mafia member. So
yeah, you
We're
freaking
slowly
Mafia
taking
guys
over the
are
world.
everywhere. Your tentacles are everywhere.
That's true.
But I have to say this for the audience, Mike. Thanks to you, we tasted 10 bourbons before we started this episode. Thank you, Mike.
Yay.
Thank you very much.
God, y'all are only on 10?
I was going to say. We tasted 5 before we got to this.
I was about to say, I think we're at 20-something over here.
Yep. So our sip segments are all about wine, distilled spirits, tea, and coffee. And today's episode is going to be very special. We're actually going through a typical process of a private barrel selection at Four Roses. Now, many of us has actually gone through this at Four Roses, and we actually thought it would be kind of a cool idea to actually bring this into a radio show. I haven't seen anybody else do this in any other media set, and so I thought it'd be kind of cool because it was really a very good interactive process to actually taste all 10 recipes in a blind tasting. So we're doing the same process, and everybody has the exact same samples here to work with. So what we're going to do today is we're going to pick our top 3 selections, which is normally what they do at the barrel selection process at Four Roses. We're actually going to discuss kind of our overall top 3 picks in the same manner that they use at Four Roses as well. So the recipes are kind of broken down into 2 groups with a pronounced variation of rye and a different yeast is kind of the breakdown. Brent's actually going to give us an overview of the mash bill and yeast variances. Take it away, good old boy Brent.
Okay, thanks. Four Roses has 2 different mash bills. The first one is what we consider like a high corn or a low rye. It's 75% corn, 25% or 20% rye, and 5% malted barley. The next mash bill is the first one they call it. They label it as an E. The second one they label as a B, and that's it's more rye. It's 60% corn, 35% rye, and 5% malted barley. And then once you have after the mash bills, then you have 5 different proprietary yeast strains, and those are labeled V, K, O, Q, and F. The V has a light fruitiness, a light vanilla, a caramel, and creamy. The K is a light spiciness, light caramel. It's a little bit full-bodied. The O is a rich fruitiness, light vanilla, caramel, and full-bodied. The Q has essence of floral aromas. And the F is mint with a fruity, a spice, and a full body.
Thanks for that
2
overview.
times 5 is 10.
Yeah, definitely. Quite a bit of... So we'll actually include a link of this really great diagram along with the show notes so you can actually see this visually as well, because I actually have known these recipes, and I got to say, I really actually like seeing the infographic, and it's actually on the wall. And the not that wall, Cary. Look, no, not that wall. It's at the wall where they actually do the store barrel.
More whiskey, table 6.
Wow,
please.
I tell you, it's just
the pole wall.
I love how this show is degrading so fast. More whiskey at table 6. All right,
Whiskey's hard.
Yep. This store barrel program is actually targeted for retailers, and so I've asked Harmeet for some comments about how this actually impacts the retailer by kind of bringing them into the overall production process. Harmeet.
Well, Mike, I have to say that I don't remember you asking me this, but you did. I don't remember it because I've drank just 10 whiskeys recently. I mean, very recently.
Only 10? What's wrong with you?
It's really great that they do this. A lot of producers, they will offer you a barrel sample, but they don't let you pick your own barrel per se. What they'll do is say, we're offering different barrels. You will taste maybe 2 of them or 3 of them, and you get to pick one. Four Roses isn't like that. I get to go to them and say, I want to taste certain types. And with Four Roses, we did a great barrel selection a couple of years ago that, actually we covered this in another show, but we did a great barrel selection. I got to taste 5 different whiskeys out of their 10 because I couldn't do... Actually, I tasted 10. I tasted 10. So what we did was we brought all these whiskeys in. I said, send me big samples. They sent 750 milliliters of each sample with brown labels on them, no information, just a code with a bottle number. And I invited 25 of my best whiskey fans to the store, and we all tasted these great whiskeys. So we did blind tasting twice. So a double blind tasting. Well, I didn't know what we were drinking. My employees put them on the machines, brown bag. So we tasted them 5 different samples. Then we tasted them again after having a snack in a different order. And we put all this information into an Excel spreadsheet. And we had 2 great whiskeys. This was a fantastic thing. Four Roses does this right.
Hey, Harmeet.
They're the guys who do this the best.
Let's take a quick break here. We'll pick up the rest of this story right after this commercial break.
Rolling clouds and crashing surf, iridescent dunes reflecting by the light of a rising, glowing moon. Seashore mesmerizing, night breeze hypnotizing. We've come across these back roads none too soon. Look to the left, to the right. Keep your eyes on the road, my darling. Wondering if we're only passing through. Open roads and open windows. My hand is yours forever, sweet.
It's a douche.
Hey, welcome back to Sips, Suds, and Smokes. This is good old boy Mike. I'm the cat herder for the day. Well, so
you're doing as good a job as a cat herder.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I'm probably hitting the same mark. Before we cut up for commercial break, Harmeet was kind of talking a little bit about some of the store barrel selection that he went through. So you were at the point of saying Excel spreadsheet and math.
Yeah. Okay, so there was math involved. We got our 10 samples down to 5 samples, down to 2 samples that were the best of the best. And that was from 25 of my best whiskey geeks. I'm not talking, I didn't invite just random customers off the street. You had to be a whiskey geek to even be invited to this event.
You invited 20 too many, I'm just saying.
I invited 22, too many of you guys. But whatever. You guys came, you guys rated, you conquered. It was beautiful. And really, there was a consensus. Two recipes stood out. We were offered whiskeys from 5 different recipes, and the age range was between 8 and 10 years. And we had a great episode all about this. I actually couldn't make that episode that day, so there was a whole show about this. You need to check that out. And it's about master distillers versus blind tastings versus stores. And they featured Four Roses Four Roses products on that episode. So I'm not sure what episode number that is. I'm sure you can cut me out and put that in later at a different time, Mike. So if you missed episode number beep, you want to check that out as well. That's the good episode to check out. And apparently my whiskey did really well that day.
It did.
So anyway,
we had a good round of Four Roses on that show. So we had again a store barrel selection. Then we had the same product that was from the master distiller, and then we actually had a couple of limited edition versions that I kind of threw in the mix, unannounced. So I think we had the limited edition 2013 and 2011 on the show. I probably got those wrong.
Both great whiskeys. I wasn't on the show, but I tasted those whiskeys.
Yeah,
but
very much so.
Let me just say this: it's unfair to compare retail selections versus master distiller selections. I slurred that completely.
Yeah, you did.
Master distiller selections. The thing is, master distillers have to make selections of several barrels. They have to produce a few hundred bottles or more than that, like a couple thousand bottles, right?
Yep.
They have to produce a couple thousand bottles for a nationwide selection. Whereas my store selected one barrel. We got 135 bottles out of that. So it's kind of unfair to compare a retailer to a master distiller. But regardless, it's a great process to go through, and we've done several single barrel selections at my store, and Four Roses by far, Dan does the best job. And let's forget about that. We have a tradition here at the show that the new co-host is going to go over the SIPS ratings with the unique twist. So, Cary Ann, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You today have the honor of channeling your best impression of Dan, the representative for Four Roses, the brand ambassador. So, how long have you known Dan, Cary Ann?
Dan and I met at Bourbon Classic last year, so a little over a year.
So, wow. That's enough time to know.
We drank a lifetime of bourbon, though.
Oh, good. I'm glad you drank together. So, you know Dan. Do Dan doing the ratings. Go for it.
I recently got the opportunity to meet a lot of Dan's childhood friends, where I now know that he's not the only one that sounds like this.
Wow. They're not in jail?
They let him out for a special occasion.
Didn't go to a conjugal visit or two.
Whiskey furlough.
I like how
whiskey furlough they do.
Only 3 of my 10 childhood friends have been indicted, but here they are.
3? Amateur.
I'm sorry, Cary Ann.
It could be worse. They could be lawyers. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
Sips number 1.
I'm just saying.
So we'll be tasting and discussing these whiskeys and rating them with these SIPS ratings, plus our signature sounds. Here are those ratings now. Am I doing Dan now? So, number 1, if it's a 1, I'll tell you right now, give me a glass of water to wash out my mouth.
Ganga, water. Ganga, bring water. Bring water.
2.
Harm.
Listen to me. I'm telling you.
Bring me some
not
water,
all Indians sound like that. They don't.
Only you and Apu. The guy who Nick Simpsons and you.
I left India when I was 3 years old, but my head still bubbles.
Hold on,
this was Cary Ann's segment. This is Cary Ann.
I know, yeah.
Number 2, Cary Ann.
Cary Ann is on it. SIPS rating of a 2 is, that's nice, but what else do you have?
Well, isn't that nice?
3. Interesting. Bottom line is, what was this again? Interesting. A 4. Let's keep this secret to ourselves. Pour me another.
That's classified.
Is that your favorite phrase, Stan? Pour me another.
Pour me another, bottom line.
Bottom line, I'll tell you right now.
Bottom line, pour me another.
It is what it is.
And number 5.
5. Oh my, I was unaware anything could be this good.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
All right.
The last part was Cary Ann? I'm just saying.
Was me in a bikini.
You got very southern on that. Oh my, I like that.
Oh my.
Well, let's charge right into kind of the typical process. So as Brent kind of talked a little bit about the recipe breakdown, so generally what you're trying to do is, one, there are 5 in one yeast group, and then there is one mash bill group, and then there's 5 in another mash bill group that you're basically kind of sorting your way through. Now, all 10 recipes have not been revealed at all, so what we're going to do is first just kind of vote, and you're actually hearing all this in real time, by the way. We have not pre-voted or anything, so let's go through. I'm going to open it up and say, what was your top pick. Hang on a second. Let me get a piece of paper here in front of me. Jason, what was your top pick?
Dude, I used a spreadsheet, man. You got a piece of paper.
My top pick was number 7.
All right, there's a vote for 7. And John, what was your top pick? Which number?
I don't know.
No, he doesn't know. I'll keep going around and let you figure it out. Carrie Ann.
10 bourbons ago, I believe it was 6.
All right, there's a vote for 6. Brent, your top pick.
Mine was number 7.
Number 7, that's 2 for 7. Bob?
Number 7.
And number 7. And John, we'll swing back around to you.
I'm not going to follow the crowd. I'm the noob, so I'm going to say number 5.
All right, so
That's a good choice. I like 5.
a couple of votes for number 1. All right, so we're going to declare number 7 is going to be our top.
I just have to say something. There was an Indian in the voting group. You did not ask him what he asked.
I forgot Harmeet. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Does he get a half
every
vote?
time, Mike, every time.
Yeah, sorry.
Does he get a half a vote?
I'm the
We keep
brownest
trying,
guy
but you
here.
keep talking.
How can you miss him with that headdress on? Anyway?
What's your vote?
Is he a registered voter?
Not even a citizen, please.
I'm just asking.
I'm not
Wait till build the wall, then he won't be here.
Did you climb that wall?
Harmeet,
Yes.
what's your top pick?
number 7.
All right. So, number 7 is going to be our top pick out of the 10 recipes for the day. Let's swing back around. Your second pick there, Jason.
My second pick was number 5.
All right. And John, what was your number 2 pick?
Number 2 for me was number 7 because I know who number 2 works for.
All right.
It's number 5.
Carrie Ann.
I'm just not with y'all at all, but number 2.
Wow, how about that? Harmeet.
I picked number 1 for number 2.
All right. And Bob.
Number 1.
And Brent.
I picked number 1.
Looks like our number 2 pick is actually going to be number 1. And our number 3 pick is going to be, Jason.
I went with number 4.
All right. And John?
I had number 1 as my third pick.
All right. And Carrie Ann?
Oddball out again, number 10.
Number 10. Harmeet.
Okay, this is really bad. I loved number 10. It would have been my third pick, but number 6, I was surprised to think. I think just basically barely edged it out.
Brent.
I went with number 3. 3 for number 3.
And Bob.
I went with number 3 as well.
All right. Really split across the board there.
Wait, Mike, I'm looking. Not one of these things have you given your pick.
I know. I was going to be the tiebreaker here. Well, there's 2 picks for number 3, so I'm going to say that is going to be our number 3 pick. All right. So let me go through the reveal, the key here, and I'm also going to pass them out. So you guys laugh amongst yourselves while I do this.
Or not.
I'm just going to have another taste of this Secretariat while you do that.
Don't mind if I do.
Excellent choice. There you go.
Secretary, is that all you have? I'll have some more of this Four Roses from Japan.
We're having
We're fancy here because Bob has the Jap.
All right. So
bleep me out. Bleep me out. Go ahead.
So listen, I'm going to go through all 10 of these. Excuse me. That's a different show.
It's a hazard of the job.
Yep. All right. So I don't expect all of you to probably follow this if you're listening to the show. We will post these with the show notes online. I'll try to go through these. I'm going to read the recipe, the source of the recipe. I think we're going to stick with just that for now. Online, you'll see the ABV as well as the age rating for some of these. When we swing around to our top 3, I'll probably discuss some more of those details. All right, everybody? So here we go, and with number 1. So number 1 through 5 were all OEs. And so number 6 through 10 are all of the OBs. So here in number 1 is OESK. This was the Birmingham Bourbon Club pick. Number 2 was OESO. That was ABC store pick out of Florida. OESF is the Bourbon Mafia barrel pick. OESQ is number 4. It's another ABC store pick. And OESV is number 5, and it's an ABC store pick as well.
It appears I should be shopping at ABC.
So, for those of you that are, so in Florida there are alcoholic beverage commission stores. I think it's what the C stands for.
No.
That's how they started. But ABC is a private company now.
Tennessee and North Carolina, where they have an ABC state-run liquor company, they usually call them an ABC. Down here, ABC is just an independent company where we're the free world.
This was back in the days when the yellow pages put alphabetically.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
ABC.
Okay.
That was them.
All right. So the second set are all OB. If you're keeping track of the grouping. So with number 6 is OBSV, an ABC store pick. Number 7 is OBSO. That's a fine spirit store pick. Number 8 number 8 is OBSK, an ABC store pick. Number 9 is OBSF. This is a gift shop pick, also the Brent Elliot pick, as it's known.
Smuggled back in luggage to Fort Lauderdale through the airport.
There you go. And number 10 is
what you can bring back in luggage through Florida. Hell, they don't stop anything down there.
Number 10 is OBSQ. It's an ABC store pick. So that's the big reveal of our tasting key for today. So before I kind of go through our top 3 picks, any initial reaction of, oh my God, I can't believe I picked that?
No.
I like them all.
I had no idea what we were tasting, but when I tasted number 7, I recognized it because we picked that barrel.
That was a good pick.
That was a good pick. Dude, I tasted 10 barrels. We got down to 5, and my customers, it was a very close. It was close between the OBSO and the OESO that we were offered, those particular barrels. And I think that the higher rye content, the spice brought it out.
That's a hell of a bottle of whiskey.
I really like that pick. So it's really heavy. It's really good.
I hope I was paying attention, but I do believe that Harmeet actually picked his barrel out of his number 1. Did he not?
I gave mine 5 points.
There you go.
I tasted it. I knew it right away. And I know it's cheating, but I smelled it. But I haven't tasted that whiskey in over a year. I've been sold out for more than a year.
Well,
so I might know where there's a bottle.
Can I just say
30 feet of here?
Can I say that from Nashville, Tennessee, I will buy one of everything you pick for the rest of your life.
There you go.
I've got, this is a different show, but I've got a High West double rye that was aged in a bourbon barrel.
We did a High West show, yeah.
Everybody's ass under $200.
I'm in.
Yep. So let's go around and talk about. Number 7 was our top pick, and so we'll go around with our tasting notes on number 7. Jason, what do you think about number 7? Your tasting notes and your sips rating.
Number 7, I said that it was all spice. It very much reminded me of a Booker's, with the higher rye content, and for me, it was just spicy. It had a lot of heat on it. So I gave this a sips rating of a 4.
About that.
That's classified.
We'll keep on swinging around here. John, what do you think about number 7 and your tasting notes and your sips rating?
I like 7 because I like full body, and I thought that's what that was. I got lucky. But I give that a 5.
Wow, how about that?
Oh my goodness! Yes! 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 Yes!
Cary Ann, what do you think about number 7?
I'm revisiting it because I did not pick it as one of my top 3.
You have extra?
I can get you more.
I was distracted by the secretariat.
I'm out. Collection. I'm out.
Damn, that's good. Sorry, that's good.
was outvoted.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a bad whiskey on the table.
Absolutely.
No, I wasn't suggesting that.
This is a hard show to do because there is not a bad whiskey.
Yeah. So, what are your tasting notes kind of around this?
Well, I didn't notate it at the time, but definitely echo some of the things Jason said. I love that spice. It's big on the palate.
Spicy.
I'd go 4.
4 for that. Well, I'm going to throw in my tasting notes as we go around here, even though I did not vote. So, some of my tasting notes here on number 7, I thought there was a lot of heavy barrel char on this particular version, which, so everybody's kind of nodding their head and saying, I think that translated into highlighting some of the sweetness and sugaring components, kind of in this as well. So, I think this has a lot of barrel, in it all the way around. It is really good, and I can see why this would have some very good appeal, in a retail setting to be offered up. How fast did this barrel move in your store? I'm curious, Harmeet.
We sold it out in less than 6 months, but it was
drank
kind
it
of
as
a
fast as
private
I could.
secret. I didn't do a lot of Instagram or Facebooking with this thing. This was our barrel. The actual barrel that we used was actually displayed in the store.
Yeah. Well, I can definitely see that the barrel component can either turn people on or turn people off. So I do like the polarizing effect of it. So really love it. My sips rating for the OBSO Fine Spirits pick is actually going to be a 4.
That's classified.
So really a great selection. And so listen, we're going to work on taking a break here. We will be right back. And we'll cover some more tasting notes on their top pick.
But baby, the whole elation riding down this lover's avenue, as slow as a willow blows, or as fast as the whirlwind grows, we glide beneath the stars in cobalt blue. Look to the left, to the right, keep your eyes on the road, my darling, wondering if we're only passing through. Open roads and open windows, my hand is yours forever, sweet love, our eyes ahead on these back roads with a view.
Hey, welcome back to Sips, Suds, and Smokes. Today's episode, we're doing a store barrel selection, blind tasting of all 10 roses.
Never buy 10 roses. I'm telling you, white girls,
you got ripped off on that.
Yeah, just cut them off on table 6. All right, so we're doing a blind tasting of all 10 recipes of Four Roses Bourbon today.
Much better.
Yeah, thank you. It's a toy boat. I got it right on the second time around. So we were going through our top selection. I want to cover tasting notes with Brent, Bob, and Harmeet. So we were kind of talking about how fast this moved in the store. Harmeet, let me just ask you for your own tasting notes on your own pick there and your sips rating.
Well, you call it my own pick, and it really wasn't my own pick per se, because I invited my 25 best whiskey geeks to come show this. Well, I actually invited more than 25 RSVP'd, and they actually showed up. I hired a caterer. It was a great thing. So we tasted them blind 2 times. We tasted them blind in brown paper bags. My employees did this. I had no idea what we were tasting. And we did it again the second time after we ate. And with and without water. I insisted people add water. I know there's a bunch of people out there who do not add water to their whiskey or add ice to their whiskey. A couple drops of water really makes a difference. Because without the water, it's big fruit and spice and a lot of ginger and clove and candied walnuts. But on the palate, it's way too hot. It's mouth coating and it's great. It goes down smooth, but it's just way too hot. When you add water to it, it's candied fruit, it's nuts, there's a slight bit of smoke to it, and it again, even with adding water, it's still it's palate coating. Mm-hmm. It's nutty and spicy, and it was just it just stood out, and it was a very close between the other mash bill and this the O yeast, it was very close because they were the ones they sent us, the barrels they sent us to taste from were both 10-year-olds, and these were they were so close. It was amazing. The fruity yeast did a great job, and we just loved it. It just beat out the higher barley. The higher rye mash bill. The spice did it for me, and that's what I gave it a 5 points.
There you go.
I did it.
Oh my goodness! Yes!
Brent, what do you think about number 7, OBSO, the Fine Spirit Store Pick?
Well, the first thing I noticed right off the bat was it had the best nose. When you're nosing this, it really came through. It was right off. You just got a lot of those spices right off the bat. Then you got your clove, your peppers, your vanilla, light caramel. And then after you taste it, you just had that nice long finish. It was very good. I really enjoyed it. As for the sips rating, I'm going to give it 4.
4.
Classified.
And Bob, your tasting notes on OBSO, the Fine Spirit Store Pick.
Well, when we did the last show, I was able to, pick that one right out. But same thing with this one. We have the key here. We're doing them blind. I have the key underneath a pile of papers, and out of 10 of these, I was able to pick this thing out immediately. If for nothing else, the nose. It had the far superior nose to the other 9 that we tried. Caramel, maple, a little bit of apple fruit back. Great finish on it. Just one of those really superior bottles. I mean, it was a great pick, and I gave it a 5.
How about that?
Oh my goodness!
So I did want to reveal the ABV and the age on this, which I didn't do as we were kind of cutting out of this. The ABV on this OBSO Fine Spirit Store Pick was 63.4. And it's 10 years is the age on this particular pick. So, yeah, it is. It is. Dan's over here going, that's unbelievable. And I do believe, probably for something that age, I am really kind of surprised.
And that's the highest in the group, right?
Yeah, no, it's not.
I'm sorry.
But, so
I'm looking at the sheet I have here. I think 63 is the highest here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. I thought you were saying that.
Not about the age.
Proof. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was thinking
about the 63.4.
That's true. It is the highest proof. We're all a bunch of barrel cast strength geeks here at the table, I guess. Well, for the sake of time, let's move through number 2 and 3. I'm going to take a couple of ratings from each of you here as we go through. So our number 2 pick is going to be what was in glass number 1, which is OESK. This is the Birmingham Bourbon Club. The ABV on this was 57.2%, and it is 9 years, 3 months in age for this particular product. So, who here at the table would like to go through their tasting notes on this?
Let me jump in because you know what? My wife is from Birmingham. Let me say, I just scored some more points than my wife. This is good because she was pissed off at me last night. It was good. I have to say, before water, it was too hot. But you got a little water. You got to mellow out those Birmingham girls. You mellow out those Birmingham girls. It opened up. It was sweet. It was candied nuts. It was sweet tobacco and a little bit of. I can't even read my note.
He did.
Wow.
He did go there.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't know a little water should just open it up.
Just water open it up. I liked it better with the water, and I gave it 4 points.
There you go.
Let me say, look, in India we say Birmingham. It's not Birmingham. It's Birmingham.
Jason, why don't you cover your tasting notes on this product?
I thought it was sweet with like a very just mellow like front end, and then it finished with a lot of oak. This one wasn't my favorite, but I thought that it was not as round as some of the other ones. I thought it was a little one-directional with just sweetness with a finish of wood.
And your sips rating?
I gave this a sips rating of a 3.
How about that?
Interesting.
Anybody else want to talk about sample number 1? All right, we'll move right along then. So, sample.
You just cut Brent off. He's a Mafia.
Oh, is he? Did he want to talk about this one? He can. Oh, we got time.
This actually came from him, so let him talk.
Brent.
This is one that we enjoyed right out of the
This
gate.
is from your personal collection. I've never tasted this before.
Yeah, well, it's good. I mean, it had a little light pepper, had some caramel, had a little berries flavor to it as well.
A lot of
for
berries.
me, which some of the others, which I hadn't noticed in most of those or anything. And then some vanilla. It was a nice pick. Yeah. I mean, I had to give it a SIPS rating of 3. It was nice.
Excellent. Thank you, Brent. We'll keep on moving right along real quick with so our number 3 pick was number 3 sample as well. This is OESF. This is the Bourbon Mafia pick. The strength on this is 54.7 ABV. The age is 9 years 7 months on the Bourbon Mafia pick. We'll just stick right there with Brent. I know that you're probably involved with some of the selection of this. What are your tasting notes and your SIPS rating on this?
Actually, this is one of the ones I missed. I did not do this. This is one of the ones they did on the last weekend when Jim Rutledge did his last picks. They did this on Friday, and so they also picked 4 other barrels that day. That I know you guys are enjoying. It was
Jim's last day.
Yeah. And I know he did some other picks on Monday, and he's coming after that.
You missed Jim's last day?
It was his
Why are you even at the show, Brent? What's going on, Brent?
I know I didn't make it up there, but I mean this is the same thing. It has a nice light pepper. A nice finish, very nice finish, and vanilla to it, and I gave it a nice solid 3.
Oh, how about that?
Interesting.
Good old boy Dan sitting beside me, and this was his top pick out of the flight too. So there you go. How about that?
Number
1.
Number 1.
This is sample number 3, which is our number 3 as well.
I picked Dan's top pick.
Yeah, how about that? All right, so it's who else would like to talk about number 3 here, the Bourbon Mafia pick? Any tasting notes? Bob.
This one was my 3rd pick. Very rich caramel, old leather, slight minty flavor on the back end. The key to this one, it opens up with water. When you first try it, it's average. It's pretty decent. A couple of drops of water, and it really, really opens up. Excellent pick. I give it a 4.
How about that?
That's classified.
So I had my own tasting notes around this one to kind of round out our tasting discussions. This particular one for me is probably a bit more floral than some of the other ones that are here. There's definitely some pronounced sweetness, not like more like honeysuckle sweet that's around this. This seems very approachable. I can see why this would really probably go around for a store pick, for this one. I can see this would hit a broad range of palates.
This hits every note for the typical customer, man.
Yeah. This definitely reminds me probably a more typical Four Roses profile, where some of the other ones we picked had some variation, either in sweetness or the barrel strength, or the how the barrel was presenting itself. So, there was not a bad one on the table. For this, I'm going to give it a 3. So
interesting.
So we've had some good discussion, and you kind of have seen the process walking through all 10 recipes. And so if you have the chance to ever get a hold of 10 recipes for Four Roses to recreate this process, if you have a small tasting club, I would definitely encourage you to do this. It's very educational. This is the second time I've gone through the whole process. But I've gone through some other tastings with maybe 5 or 6 recipes all at the same time.
Plus, you get to sit down and drink 10 bourbons.
Yeah, and Dan's in the room, so
at least 10.
Guys, I'm sorry, I have to jump in. What did you guys think of number 10? Because by the time I got through 10 bourbons, I don't know if I was overrating this or I was good. What were your scores on number 10?
I picked number 10 for my 3rd. I kind of smelled through all of them and recognized a few and went and tasted. I didn't jump right into tasting all 10. But
so what was your rating?
On number 10, 4.
It was in my top.
Classified.
It was in my top 5, and I had it at a 4 also.
How about that?
Wow.
It was number 5 for me. Very, very floral on the nose. Lots of flowers.
And a lot of and a lot of barrel char off this one.
Yeah, I thought it started off really strong and then kind of teetered off on the finish.
Yeah,
Are you guys
I thought it was
water?
weak on the end.
Water came in. It was like so floral. It was amazing.
No, I don't add water.
We don't have enough whiskey. We don't have enough whiskey to add water.
Philistines, you freaking Philistines.
You should see the little baby pours we got.
I only had water to Fireball. Come
If I could have
on.
done 1/10 of a drop, I would have added water.
Could add gasoline to Fireball. It's not going to fix it.
The whole Tennessee crowd, listen to me.
So
Adding a little bit of cold water just releases the esters. That you get all those fatty acids coming out of the whiskey. You get more
I'm all
flavor
about the
by
fatty
adding
acid,
good
baby.
water to a really good whiskey.
Hey,
just
try it.
All I got to say
Have some
is if
Nutella?
whiskey was supposed to have water in it, it would have been co-packed with a bottle of water.
Now, see, that's not my opinion. That's not my opinion. As a consumer, I add water to almost everything. But I'm sitting here with a plastic cup. God help me. And, and
As my wife would say, "Oh my
no, for real.
Jesus!"
It's like he didn't think I had.
Bless your
heart.
Bless
like,
her heart.
like he didn't think I had 60 Glencairn glasses here.
We are drinking out of Glencairn glasses here in
Well-
Fort Lauderdale, and let me say, I feel sorry for you people in Tennessee.
Well, we're
that's
drinking.
my fault.
We're drinking the limited edition and the small batch and the Secretariat and these other things out of Glencairn's. It's just these samples are plastic, and we didn't have enough to add water because I was trying to go back and taste it 3 or 4 times, but contrary to my friend Jason here,
I hear him.
It is.
as opposed to my friend Jason here, I add water to my whiskey. So just so you know, some of us Tennesseans, we put some water in it.
Well, Dan has said that we've moved up. He's just impressed I didn't use red Solo cup. So
I was about to say, I'm just glad it's in a cup and not a bucket this time.
yeah.
I usually drink it right out of the
Listen,
bottle.
we only have a few more minutes left here in our show today, and I wanted to get around to talk about a very special product that Dan brought to share with us, which is the Four Roses Secretariat. So this is a uber special edition of this particular product, and I think it's really great that we've had a chance to enjoy this. Who knows the history around this product? Anybody other than Dan?
Not me.
Sitting next to me. Well, I'll tell you what.
Let him on the show.
It's got a horse on it.
So
All right.
why don't we do this? Why don't we run through a couple of tasting notes while Dan is swapping out with Cary Ann to kind of tell us about this. So, Jason, what are your tasting notes on Secretariat?
Oh God, I need.
Well, he
wait,
lost
hold
it.
on. I need more Secretariat, please.
Oh wait, more
I
glasses.
Need, yeah,
Hang
I
on,
need more glasses.
We need a second here.
John, what's your?
It got a little complicated at the corner of the table. We kind of did some 2014, 15
you were
special editions
opening up
over
like
here.
14 other
There's like
bottles.
10 bottles open over here.
Let me shoot this 2014 limited edition. Hang on, just a second. Single barrel.
We were told there were 400 bottles open over there. But
Whoa, that was close.
We're back to Secretariat.
Now I will say, so tasting the Secretariat,
This is really smooth.
I thought that it was super smooth and mellow, but it didn't finish light. It let you know that you were drinking whiskey. And I would say that of the Four Roses we've tried today, this one, what I wrote down was it was the most rounded Four Roses that I tried. It started off with the mellow, the light. It finished spicy and strong.
It's smooth to be this spicy.
Yeah.
It's a well-rounded.
It's really good.
Dan's joined us for a quick introduction to this. We only have about 15 seconds here.
I'm going to guess that this is that OBSV recipe from 18 years ago. It was a mutation of the V yeast strain, and it was Rutledge said it's the best whiskey he ever produced. They didn't capture that yeast mutation though. One off.
Excellent. Well,
thank you, Four
yeah,
Roses.
thank you for definitely bringing this to share with us. Anybody? It's a 5 all the way around for the Secretariat.
Absolutely,
Fives.
I'll send you guys samples if you want.
Yeah, we'll make sure this finds our way to our
please send us
Ritz
samples to Fort Lauderdale.
I will
Absolutely.
pick up samples
You have to go to
on
Birmingham to
Wednesday.
get yours, Harmeet. Hey, let's wrap up our show for today. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Sipsodes and Smokes. You can catch all of our episodes online as well on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, PRX, and Spreaker, our native media host. iTunes and our own Android app are the easiest ways to enjoy the show on your phone. Just search for Sips, Suds, Smokes on iTunes or in the Google Play Store. We love your feedback as well, and you can reach us online at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com. It's the first time I've actually heard a cork in the background. Our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter every day at SipSudSmokes, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news. Do us a favor, take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. It's a great big help to us, and we love your feedback as well. I definitely want to thank all of my hosts for being here. Good old boy Jason, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Good old boy John, thanks for joining us.
So proud.
Good old boy Bob, thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure to be
I should
here.
say Made Man Bob and Made Man Brent, thank you for joining us.
Thanks. You know, you can't say you've been drinking all day if you don't start in the morning.
Good old boy Harmeet, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. This is great.
And good old gal Cary Ann, thanks for joining us.
Such a pleasure. I'll be back.
Hey, it's good old boy Mike asking you to join us once again on another episode of Sip, Suds, and Smokes. I'll ask you to keep on sipping.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sip, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see y'all next time.